I feel like I went from a 3 or a 4 in the beginning as far as being in the right mindset to play a show to a 9 or sometimes a 10. And like I said, ever since I've been doing this routine, I've been having incredible shows that flow. Flowing is the most important part to me. Instead of fighting, I'm flowing now. Hey everybody, it's Mike here from The Art of Guitar. I'm excited today because I know this video is going to help a lot of people. It's helped me, and I think it's going to help people not only who play live and get nervous beforehand, but just a lot of people in general, because a lot of the things I'm going to talk about can be applied to anything outside of music. If you just want to be able to get rid of that anxious feeling you get sometimes, or at least, bring it down to a manageable level. And just to be able to get out of your head is such an important thing in life. Now, as a musician, it could be the difference between having an awesome show and just thinking, oh, that was just horrible. I'm so glad it's over. Because you never want to feel like that as a musician, locked in your mind, overthinking everything. Suddenly it doesn't feel like you're even making music. You don't even feel like a musician. You feel like you're just a robot going through the motions. But when you get out of your head and you get into that flow, it's one of those feelings that you can't describe, but you really feel like the music was just flowing out of you. It's the best feeling ever. Now, I really wanted to make sure it was the routine that was working for me, because back in the day, I would just drink at shows, to calm down. And I'd have, a whiskey or two, and suddenly I was ready to go. I just kind of lost all my inhibitions, and it usually got me through. I did put up a video, though, a while back that talked about my worst gig in a long time, where I showed up feeling anxious and I had a couple drinks and it actually made it worse. So I wanted to make sure this routine had nothing to do with chemicals in order to be effective. So I've been off booze for about 157 days now, and I've had gigs within that time period, and I've been able to really put it to the test. And I'm happy to say that it's not the drinking, it's the actual routine that's so effective. Now, this routine is actually effortless, and when I explain it, you're going to be like, yeah, it's not just clickbait. He's actually telling the truth about it being simple. It involves listening to 3 songs in a row on your way to the show. And it's a customized thing for me. I kind of accidentally stumbled into it and it just started working, so I didn't mess with it too much. But it might be different songs for you. But the 3 songs that I chose are going to seem kind of strange, but they each do a specific thing and they have to be done in a certain order for it to work for me, at least. Back in the day when I would go to a show, I would just jump in my car. I usually had 1,000 things going through my head. It's usually things that could go wrong. I'd always listen to music, but sometimes I'd think maybe I got to play something inspirational like Eye of the Tiger, or just something that really pumps you up, And then I thought maybe I'm overthinking and I need something to calm down. So I'd play like a ballad. I'd do something real chill in order to try to just relax. Well, neither of them worked very well. I found out that it has to be a certain combination, and this is how it happened for me. So I'm headed to a show, I'm all frazzled, and I was going through my 80s playlist, and I just saw Whitesnake, and I chose it. And of course, their biggest hit was the first song to start, which is Here I Go Again. You probably knew that was coming due to the thumbnail, and I'm sure a lot of people were like, he's just using Tawny Kitaen to get clicks. Maybe, but she actually has something to do with this story. What I realized when Here I Go Again starts, it's those really nice synth chords. And the song just has this mid-tempo feel to it. It's relaxing, but it's not too relaxing. And the words, I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been, puts me in a bit of a nostalgic, just kind of thinking about good times. Because when I first heard the song, this is the 87 version I listened to, by the way, not the 1982 version. Did you know in that version, the lyrics go, like a hobo, I was born to walk alone? Check it out, I'm serious. Like a hobo, I was born to walk. Well, I remember the good times when I first heard that song. And so when I hear that, I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been, I start to think of the good times from back then. And then the song itself, the title, Here I Go Again on My Own. I usually go to shows by myself, and it kind of tells me, I've done this a million times. I've been in bands my whole life. So here I go again. It almost lets me know that there's nothing to worry about because I've done this so many times. It's old hat by now. Now, I use this first track as like a primer to get me settled down a little bit and to focus my brain, not on the gig, but just on the fact that I'm traveling and doing something I've done many times before. It puts me in a mindset right off the bat to where I'm ready to relax even more or get more excited. It's kind of this middle ground. So that tune gets done. The next song that comes up automatically on Apple Music at the time was Is This Love? If you know that song, you know that it's very relaxing. You know, those sweet John Sykes licks, they're just smooth and they just make you feel great. It's really hard to feel tense for that song, you know, just the guitar playing alone, but also just the feel of the song, the words, the vocals, the melody, all that stuff. So that brings me even more to a chill place. Not too much though. There's still that kind of driving slow beat going on. You know, you don't want to fall asleep basically, especially if you're driving. During that song, I feel like I kind of go into this meditative state where as I'm driving, I almost forget that I'm going to a show. It just feels like everything's relaxed. It almost feels like I'm going on a vacation. And now that you're nice and relaxed, it feels like everything's been cleared out. Your mindset is very just calm. The next song to come on, at least in the playlist that I had, is Still of the Night. And if you know that tune, you know how intense it is. It's a completely rockin' tune. It's not frenzied, it's not like fast and chaotic, but it's very powerful. And it gets me excited in this way that makes me want to hit the stage, especially in the middle when everything just kind of breaks down for a second, kind of goes a little Led Zeppelin-y right there. And then when it kicks back in and it has those strings going on in the background, it's kind of inspiring. It's almost like my heart rate is going to all the right places. So it starts off with Here I Go Again. It slows it down a little bit from where it was. Then Is This Love? It really brings it down. You're calm, but you're not comatose. That's the important part. Then Still the Night brings you back to a little bit above average, but in a good way. It's the good kind of energy you want inside, not the frantic, nervous energy. That's all gone now. It's a more excited type of energy where you're pumped up like you just want to start rocking out with your band. As that song is fading out, I feel like I went from a 3 or a 4 in the beginning as far as being in the right mindset to play a show to a 9 or sometimes a 10. And like I said, ever since I've been doing this routine, I've been having incredible shows that flow. Flowing is the most important part to me. Instead of fighting, I'm flowing now. And by the way, if you have a few minutes before you get to the show, if you don't time it correctly, what I do is I play the song Fool for Your Lovin', you know, the Steve Vai version when Steve Vai was playing lead guitar for them. And that song's kind of a neutral song, so it's a good one to put on if you need one more song before you get to the show. The proof that this routine is rock solid for me now is I was playing a show that I knew was going to be packed because we had been advertising it for a long time. And it was a reunion show for 2 of my bands. So we were going to have a lot of fans, people I haven't seen in a long time. I knew it was going to be a very social environment, and I'm very introverted. So typically I'd have a whiskey and I could talk to anybody, but this time I don't have that option. So, you know, I was like, this routine better pull me through. And I got to the show and my singer was there and I tried to explain to him my routine and he just looked at me like I was kind of crazy. But what's cool about that is I was so calm as I pulled up. You know, typically if I knew I was going to play in 2 different bands, playing all these songs I haven't played in 20 years and having to socialize that much, I'd be just a bundle of nerves. But because I was able to do this entire routine on my way to the show, everything was just so much easier for me. And by the way, I played with both of those bands that night, and then the next day I had an earlier show with the Heart Tribute Band, and that was an outdoor gig in Northeast Minneapolis, and I used the same routine on the way there as well. Now, as weird as my routine might seem, you know, 3 Whitesnake tunes, it's kind of strange. Find the songs that work for you. Maybe you could try the songs that work for me, and it might work for you as well, but maybe you'll find a different artist to be a little bit more calming for you, or energetic, or whatever, or maybe even try 3 different artists. I just kind of let my phone do its thing and it came up with those 3 tunes. So I was kind of lucky it was an accident, but it worked out. So try it and let me know if it works for you. And also, if you already have a pre-gig routine, let us know what works for you. I'd be really interested to read what other people do. And bonus points if it's not really a chemically dependent type thing, because I know that's the biggest thing people do to really get in the zone to play. But I already know about all that stuff. I'd rather know about other things you do. I have other things as far as being prepared, you know, with my gear and, you know, with songs and all that stuff. But really, this is about mindset on the way to the show, which to me, if you don't have that, everything else doesn't really matter because everything else is just going to seem like hell if you're not in the right place in your head. Okay, everyone, hopefully you get something good out of this. If you have a show coming up in the near future, give it a shot, like I said, and report back. Okay, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks. Bye.